Hey everyone, welcome to the Luzerne County College Report. Doing very well. Over 4,000 students, my friends, at this great place. And joining me again is the president, no stranger to northeastern and central Pennsylvania, John Yudichak. John, how are things going?
Going very well, thank you. Thank you for being here.
Do you need my help in any way? I mean,
always. You know, we need you to spread the gospel of Luzerne County Community College throughout northeastern PA.
Let me tell you, I was telling you, I do this show with Ramilda on Luzerne County Report, and you know, they just can't say enough about how great this college is doing and all the great people we have here. You know, it's just great.
Yeah, Ramilda, as the county manager, and John Lombardo as county chair were kind enough to come to the inauguration of the president and say a few words. They're very kind. County Council has been very good to the college. Ramilda's doing an exceptional job with the county. We have a lot of exciting partnerships coming in the new year that we'll be talking about when the new year rolls around. But great partnership for many, many years, 57 years as our primary sponsor, Luzerne County. We're very appreciative of their
you know, John, that's, I think, so important to be able to have the partnerships, you know, and what you're bringing to the college, not because you're sitting next to me, but knowing you for many years in the legislature, but making the friends and contact and knowing who you are and working with these people is just a major plus for everybody, you know. Speaking of major plus, we're in this wonderful building, and there's a great history about it. Tell us about this building and what this history is about it.
The remarkable thing about this spot was a portion of this site was the former Susquehanna coal building. It had been vacant for perhaps half a century, and this at Main and Market in downtown Nanticoke, it's the main focal point. When you come through the town, you would see this vacant building about what was our past and what would never be again, the collapse of King Coal. And so we got together with a group of business leaders here in town, with the community college, and we put together a vision of bringing the college into the downtown, a $50 million all-in expansion of the community college and a revitalization of Nanticoke. So the Pagliante Culinary Institute was a part of that, $7.6 million investment in downtown Nanticoke and in the expansion of our culinary program at the community college. About $4.5 million was in state grants. The Commonwealth stepped up in a big way to help build this beautiful facility, 22,000 square feet, 30 different classrooms, the state-of-the-art video and auditorium. It is an amazing piece of art in my mind in terms of transformation from the era of King Coal to a new era. You know, food service is a big industry in Pennsylvania. Yeah. Tourism is the #2 industry right behind agriculture. We have 2 casinos in the footprint of the college. Food service jobs are in high demand. We have 2,000 jobs right now open in northeastern Pennsylvania. Starting salary $60,000 for those that graduate with an associate degree in culinary arts from Luzerne County Community College. So this plays an important role in workforce development. It's a beautiful facility, and really, in terms of investing in the future of Nanticoke and the future of Luzerne County, this was really putting a marker down and saying we can be better, we can do great things. I remember at the time there were a lot of folks that were skeptical that probably on campus our footprint of the culinary program was probably less than 4,000 square feet, maybe 2,500 to 3,000 square feet. Now we have 22,000 square feet. John Metz from Metz Industry, who was a pioneer in the food service industry. I remember chatting with him. He was the president of the National Restaurant Association. I said, is this going to add value to our community? And when he told me, he said, I have 100 jobs right now, and this was 15 years ago, that pay $75,000 or more.
Wow.
This is going to add value to students. This is going to add value to the region. And Luzerne County Community College at the time stepped up, moved forward with this vision, and we have this beautiful facility and a great staff and great students who go on to do great things in our community.
I sit here listening to you in this building, thinking about when we started the culinary arts program. I was I was one of the principal people that started with, Al Wasley and the group there, and I remember when I would never envision seeing this, when we started. It's just
Well,
great.
it was so great. You mentioned Al Wasley, and I think of Jack Duda, who was also in the
Yeah,
food service
yeah.
industry, and their best friend was Joe Pagliante. The three of them were in the Plymouth Rotary for over 50 years.
Yeah.
Joe and his wife Irma donated $1 million to this facility. We honor him and his wife and the Pagliante Foundation by having his name on the building. We're so grateful to them. He lived well into his 90s, both he and his wife. He was here for the 10th anniversary, gave a wonderful speech. Armin Marshola, who is the president and CEO of Grotto Pizza now, he's the chair of that foundation, continues to be very supportive. We're so grateful. And there's been others, the Kowalski family, Gertrude Hock. We have a chocolate room here. How many community colleges have their own chocolate room? So we're very grateful to the funding partners, both in the Commonwealth, the county, and our private funding partners like the Paglianti and the Kowalskis and the Gertrude Hock families. One of my daughters, Anna, very interested in the culinary arts. They did the summer camps. That's one of the great things that we do for our community. This is such a community-focused program, not only the summer camps for the kids. Just in the recent months, we did the Northeast Cancer Institute, where our students went and put together the desserts, the Wyoming Valley Art League. I keep saying it over and over again. Community is in our name, community is in our mission, and community is exactly where we want to be at Luzerne County Community College.
So great. I just can't say enough of how impressive it is, and I'm glad to have our student on today to talk about her experiences. We'll be back right after this. And welcome back to the Luzerne County Community College Report. We do this every month. Remember, we have other reports. We have the county report, the Luzerne County report. We have Visiting Luzerne report. We have the mayor's report, Hazleton, Jeff Cassett, and we have the Hazleton Area School District report and the Schuylkill report. So we have a lot of reports for you. Now, I'm here at LCC today doing the report, and we are talking about the Culinary Arts Department, and we have the chairman of the department, Sal Chandra, right? Now, first of all, congratulations on such a great job you're doing here at the college.
Thank you.
Tell me about the difference in terms of what you have to offer here in the culinary art.
Well, we run three different curriculums. We run the culinary arts, we run pastry arts, and we also run a hotel restaurant management program. Those programs each have individual tracks that students take, and it prepares them not only just for job training to go entry level into positions, but it gives them a track towards the management. And I think that's where we kind of stand out a little bit on the programs, because the students are getting a touch of what it is to take and manage a place or potentially go into their own business.
Looking at each individual department, let's break each individual department down. Like, I may be interested in going in, but I don't know which area to go in. What can you tell me about those?
Well, the culinary arts takes and gives the students a great perspective of what the industry takes and offer as far as cooking goes, and the methodologies that it takes to do the cooking. So when they're coming through here, they're actually learning. They're in an experimentation in a lab. And then the repetition of what they take and they learn is when they take and they go out and into business. So as they're taking and learning different layers or different foundations, when we take and we run the culinary program, they'll start with just the basics, or what the foundation is. They'll start learning what it is to make stocks, soups, sauces. And once they get those down, then they start learning the different flavors and layering different flavors that's inside there. So it gives them, I believe, an edge that they take and they know. And we're very competitive and very similar to what students take and go to Culinary Institute of America or Johnson & Wales. Very similar curriculums that we take and we do. So, on that culinary end, I believe that's where they take, and they get a lot of experience because we spend a lot of hours with the hands-on experience. And this is an industry where it's more hands-on than taking and actually utilizing bookwork.
When you're looking at the availability and the fact that I think you have to have a passion. I mean, when you talk to people who are involved, you should know, they have a passion for their food, okay?
Passion.
What do you mean it's too salty? What do you mean it's too sweet, So, I mean, these are kind of things that I guess, you develop, huh?
Yes, and that's something that, is learned.
Is that right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's something learned by experience also.
Yeah.
Through the years that I've been here, you see students that get very offensive or defensive both ways.
Yeah.
Because when you tell them something isn't correct or maybe you should adjust it this way or that way, sometimes they just draw back. But in the industry, they have to get used to that because it's a dog-eat-dog world that's out there. And, one thing I tell all the students is, you're just as good as your last dish.
That's right.
And, so when they're in that lab, that's what we're trying to take in. We incorporate into them, and then we start building that little bit of integrity that you're talking about, or that passion.
What do you teach your students about the quality of the food that they're getting, and instead of supplementing something that's a less value or less quality?
That's a very good question. And what we take and we do there in the labs, we try to run multiple foods of different qualities that's taken and brought in. So when they look at, for example, in a meat class, and we're taking and we're looking at the quality of fish, they learn what fresh fish should be like. They learn how to take and actually fillet or steak the fish, and then learn different proper cooking methods according to the fish, whether it's a fatty fish or a lean fish.
When you have a person who gets involved in culinary arts and they're cooking, I wonder if I should put a little slash of parsley or a little basil or a little, these things. I mean, do you encourage that in the development of the students?
Yes, that comes in when we, like I said before, building those foundations and building the flavors from there. Yeah. So when it comes time to plating, or it comes time to, let's try and add this. Yeah. In industry, they're going to go out. They're basically going to be following standardized recipes. They're going to be taking and utilizing what is given in that restaurant. Here, when they come to school, they have the opportunity to take a steak or a piece of fish or a chicken and cook that 3 separate ways and find out what flavors. So not only are they taking and learning different cooking methods, but they're also learning different flavor profiles.
All right,
and we offer everything that you just mentioned to take and do.
You keep up the good work here. You're doing a great job, seriously. The kids are learning. When I say kids, I mean all
the students, they do wonderful.
Yeah, and there's different ages, right?
Yes. Yeah, the average age that went at the college is a 27, but we see students already that are that come in at retirement age to learn how to take and cook.
Good. Folks, we're at the Culinary Arts Department at LCC, Luzerne County Community College. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Luzerne County College Community Report, my friends. Learning a lot about what's happening at LCCC, and we're at the Culinary Department today, talking all about the wonderful Culinary Department. Tops. Joining me now is Dave Pembleton, who is one of the faculty, and congratulations on doing such a great job down here.
Thank you.
Fabulous job. Many years ago, I was so happy to start the culinary program as the chairman of the board, and when I see this, it makes my heart really great. Now, tell me about your pastry arts.
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, because as an instructor here, we didn't always have a pastry program, but we were losing some students to go to other pastry programs, so we decided, hey, listen, let's talk about that. So we took about a year to plan it out, get some information and all those types of things, and then we wrote a pastry program, which has a certificate program and also has an associate's degree program, starting from the very, very basics of Pastry 101, going up through an advanced chocolate decorating and cake decorating class.
Explain about the ServSafe and how important that is.
Well, that's the basic. That's where we start. You got to start with safe product, wholesome food, and you got to talk about sanitation in food service. And it's extremely important. It tells you about the different temperatures, tells you about the different bacteria, tells you about how you should store food, how you should handle food, all the way through when it comes through the back door, right till it goes on the plate. And it's required now that someone have a ServSafe certificate to be able to operate a business. So it's very, very important. It's extremely important.
So you're teaching them the basics, all right, and that is critically important, okay? Because you don't want anyone getting sick from the food, okay?
Absolutely.
When do you know? I mean, are there certain tests that you do on the fish and the meat or the chicken, especially poultry, okay? Keeping it at a certain temperature.
First of all, receiving it, first of all, it's really important to know what you're looking for as far as quality. So how you receive it, the temperature you receive it, checking it in is important. How you store it is really, really important. So storing at the correct temperatures below 40 degrees. And when when you're cooking it, you have so much time in which to cook it to stay out of the danger zone. And then, when you do cook it, it has, especially poultry, has to be to a temperature of above 165 degrees. So before you serve it, and in all those points, there's critical control points that you have to manage to make sure the food is safe and wholesome to eat.
What's the rule of thumb is you keep your poultry? I mean, when you're buying poultry or anything, meat, you see expiration date, okay? Now, when you say expiration date is 5 days from when you buy it, okay, do you necessarily have to eat that food on that expiration date?
Well, that is a required, that's a date they put on there, and in the food service industry, I think it's probably best to go by those dates.
Yeah, they have that factored in as to something could happen to that product.
Exactly right. At home, you're making your own decisions as to what you want to do. Hey, if you want to keep something for 7 days and the quality is okay, you make that decision. But in teaching students to cook for the public, it changes. And you really have to you have to follow the rules.
So that ServSafe is extremely important.
Extremely important.
Yeah, okay. Now you have other classes here that I think are interesting.
Yeah. We start with basic classes, the fundamentals, learning how to use a knife, learning how to identify equipment, learning basic skills, all those types of things, fabricating fish, fabricating meat, cutting vegetables, cooking, all the cooking methods. But then after that, year one is done, and we have 3 or 4 classes in that, and they also have a class in baking. Then they take those skills the second year, and we've developed, as the program evolves and continues to evolve, we've added classes like Italian cuisine. We've added American regional cuisine. We've added foods of the world. This semester, we're adding a vegetarian cuisine. So as the demand changes out there, we change our program a little bit and we add different things. So those are called electives, okay? So after the students develop their basic skills, they all have to have those skills, then they go into different classes and they're able to choose, Italian, foods of the world, American regional, vegetarian. And then we have a couple of capstone classes where we actually have a restaurant that mimics what they would do in the industry. We have an restaurant operations number 1, which deals with breakfast, lunch, and that type of cookery. And it's a 6-hour lab, and it duplicates what they would do in a restaurant.
How many years have you been in this?
I've been in this business for about 50 years.
Is that right?
I've been here for 30.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You ever think of going, and becoming a big chef someplace?
Well, I came from industry. I was an executive chef at a major resort in the Poconos. I was executive chef at a small inn called the Carrot Shop Inn. I worked at Mount Laurel Resort.
Oh, yes.
I worked at a legendary restaurant called the Hart Restaurant, Agalinos in West Pittston with Joe.
Been there.
So I've been chefs at a lot of places before I came here. And then
what a nice experience you bring to the students because you had a hands-on.
Right, hands-on is very, very important. And once they learn the skills, that's where it comes to life, when they actually have to work the line.
You and Sal love what you're doing, huh?
Love it.
Now I'm going to talk to Charlotte Olson, who is a second-year student here. And Charlotte, so tell me, you excited about being in the culinary program?
I am. I love it here.
Yeah. Why did you decide to go into culinary arts?
I chose this because it is something I'm passionate about. I love to bake, I love to cook.
Before you went into culinary arts, what was the reason? You know, was it because you like to cook? Is that why you went into and why LCC?
Well, I chose LCC because I was able to start while I was in high school. So
Oh.
I actually just graduated high school in June, and I will be finishing up shortly after.
Okay, so what have you learned?
I did not know much about doing baking in big production, and I've learned that here.
Would you like to go into small restaurant or a catering or resort, or what's your future looking like?
I'm looking at starting my own business, specializing
Wow.
in doing wedding cakes.
The college was built for people like you, okay, that come in and have the best. You know, tell me about the quality of education you're getting here and the people, you know, because I always like to hear from a student. I was a former teacher myself. You know, what do you tell our students? Why should they come here?
Well, I start off by everybody is very welcoming and friendly. If you don't know the answer to something, you can ask an instructor or a fellow student, and somebody will get you the answer. Coming in here, I knew a little bit about baking, but I had a lot of questions, and you can ask any of my teachers. I ask questions, but they've always been able to answer them.
There's no question that's dumb. You know, and it's good. Well, I wish you the best. You're graduating this year, right?
Yes.
Do you have a job opportunity?
I do.
Yeah.
I work at a barbecue restaurant and then in a bakery as well.
Okay. And then when will I hear of the Olson Bakery or the Olson, you know, pastry division? Okay.
Hopefully in the next few years.
Yeah. So you specialize in cakes, pies, or what? Yeah.
Right now, I do a lot of cakes and pies.
Yeah. And how about those little cookies and stuff you do?
I can do cookies too, yep.
And what's your favorite cookie?
I like to make molasses cookies.
See,
Yep.
now we got something in common here. Okay, well, I wish you the best, and thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
My friends, don't forget, every month we have the Luzerne County Community College Report. And listen, I got some of your emails, and I know some of you have come up and asked me, you know, very excited to know about all the things that Luzerne County Community College has to offer. Culinary arts is just one of many, you know, and you've listened to the instructors, you've now listened to a student. First class, second to none. We'll see you next time.